Welcome to all you Capricorns out there. This is your yearly forecast for 2023 in a nutshell, of course, but I'm going to focus on the outer planets. And no, they are not clashing anymore. No Saturn square Uranus anymore. No Pluto square Uranus. Remember, that was quite tricky for a lot of you Capricorns out there. They are not really meeting each other in a challenging aspect. So let's have a look at what they're doing individually in your chart. And start, of course, with Pluto. Yes, Pluto will still be for most of the year in Capricorn in your sign. But it already shifts into Aquarius, the next sign, between March and June. So between March and June, you're going to have Pluto in your second house. Let's start with that. That means that you're going to have a sneak preview of what's that going to be when Pluto is not going to return into Capricorn anymore. It is about transformation when it comes to your money. It is about transformation when it comes to your self-worth. And of course, these days, when it comes to money, a lot of people are going through these very Plutonian energies there. When it comes to crises and how to deal with improving your financial situation. Now, Pluto doesn't necessarily mean a crisis. I had Pluto in my second house for years now, and I can't say that I had a major crisis, but what I can say out of experience and of course of doing many charts is that you have an opportunity to strengthen your finances and your confidence. So there's work to do there, and know that you can do it very seriously now, very slowly but surely. And if you do it right, yes, Pluto in the second house can also mean lots of money. So again, it's not going to be the most important thing for you next year, but it's a couple of months that you will have this Pluto in your second house. Now, for the rest of the year, it is Pluto in your first house still. So most of you Capricorns have been dealing with this transformational energy. And still, the late-born Capricorns who've got planets between 27 and 29 degrees, so 27, 28, 29 degrees of Capricorn, they will have Pluto bang on their sun or their ascendant or their moon. So for you, this transformation still needs to come. But for most of you, you have gone through this. And what is this all about? It's about the shedding off of the skin for sure. When it's on your ascendant, when it's on your sun sign, it more has to do with work, with career, with your identity. It could be you, an identity as a student. You transform to the identity of having responsibilities at the workplace, and that's Pluto on your sun, for instance. Whatever it is, or it is the nurse that is transforming her career into maybe an instructor of how to drive a car, a teacher. That is a transformative energy. It's really saying goodbye to something, and in order to make space for the new. But again, that doesn't go like this. It doesn't go like it's a process, basically. So for some of you, there could be still things that you are clinging on to too strongly. When it's the moon, it's more your emotions, an old way of you, how you deal with crises and on an emotional level. But first, something needs to go in order to strengthen it and to rebuild it in a way that suits you better, right? So welcome that. Then the third house for the whole year, Neptune is there. So that is not really so significant for you. It's in Pisces, that goes well with your energy. Now, the only thing that is a pitfall with Neptune in the third house is mind your communication, so that you have integrity and that you don't make people doubt when you communicate. Sometimes you will misunderstand other people as well. That's with Neptune in the third house, but it should not really create the biggest problems with sextiling this to your energy. And actually, in a good way, it can mean you being very, very kind with your words and expressing them and almost healing when it comes to your words. You can also do, when it comes to your connection with siblings, with neighbors, having a very strong soul connection there with Neptune, or people in the neighborhood. They just are like your soul family, so to speak. So you can definitely have that for the rest of the year. Now Uranus is also in your 5th house still for the rest of the year, in fellow earth sign of Taurus. And that's a good thing, because Uranus is supporting you. So, and in the 5th house, that is amazing for those of you who are single. This could mean all of a sudden you meet someone new in your life, and it's very, very exciting. It has the Uranus flavor. So the feeling of being alive, the feeling of, yes, getting out of the comfort zone. But again, for you, it's not that much unsettling, because it trines your energy. But it's definitely on a love level very exciting. It could also mean that a child of yours, although it's not problematic, but a child of yours starts to rebel. I mean, with Uranus there in your 5th house, or all of a sudden a pregnancy could mean that as well, depending, of course, of your story. But it can also mean that when it comes to your hobbies, the things that you love to do something Uranian, but something that is quite grounding as well. So enjoy that. It's a very pleasant energy to have, Uranus in your 5th house. And it's definitely, when it comes to your hobbies, your projects that you have, or businesses that you want to launch, it has that Uranian flavor. So it has that alternative side of it. When you do start a business, do something that all the other competitors are not doing. That is the key for Uranus in your 5th house. Saturn in your 2nd house up until March still in Aquarius. So that means you're already dealing with being serious around your finances. Saturn in the 2nd house is definitely about being very economical with your resources. And then it shifts into, and also when it comes to a reality check, when it comes to your confidence. So you could be feeling a little bit low there, but by working on it and by knowing what you need to do to improve your confidence, that's the deal, right? Saturn, it rewards if we work hard for it. It shifts into the 3rd house in March and onwards in Pisces for the rest of the year, where Neptune already is. So Saturn there in the 3rd house, but it sextiles your energy, so it's rather smooth. It can indicate that you learned something that is quite difficult, but you're doing it, and you're doing it consistently. Could also mean like your relationship with neighbors and siblings, people in the neighborhood, they have a seriousness about it. So it could be a little bit more cool there, but again, nothing problematic, as Saturn sextiles your energy. And but it's definitely about thinking deeply and thinking very thoroughly, and knowing what you're saying before you're speaking, right? Not being too spontaneous there. Jupiter is in your 4th house up until May, so in Aries, and that's nice. That means still up until May you have that expansive energy when it comes to your home, and when you feel, and also by it's an emotional house. It's like it represents the moon. So you could be selling and buying definitely towards something bigger with Jupiter there. But if you're saying, Veerle, that's definitely not on the horizon, then this is all about you feeling good about yourself. On the emotional level, you feeling content because you nurture you. You are being your own parent there. And that's certainly a positive thing. Jupiter in the 5th house, as from May and onwards, is fantastic. It's in Taurus, a fellow earth sign, so where Uranus already is. So definitely, it's a very enjoyable house that is getting a lot of transits there for you, dear Capricorn. So Jupiter in the 5th, it's when you're single, you could be meeting someone, and it's very Jupiterian-like, but very, very, so which means having your best interest, a very optimistic person, could be someone from abroad, but also very beautiful because it's in Taurus, and or handsome, And but it's very, very expressive, and you could really have more fun and more exploring your hobbies, doing things that you love to do. But also, if you want to start that project or a new business, this is very good energy to have, and certainly because it trines your energy of Capricorn. So a lot of good stuff happening for you. And then the nodes are shifting from Scorpio, Taurus into Libra and Aries. So they are in your 5th house, the North node there, where in Taurus, where I was already talking about. So already up until July time, the North node will still be in that 5th house. So the focus indeed should be on exploring and being expansive when it comes to your heart chakra and enjoying yourself and being passionate about life. And yes, the North node prompts you into that. It is a bit less about what are my friends thinking and what are they doing, towards more what do I like and what do I love to do. And then the nodes in July shift into Libra and Aries, and that is going to be in your key areas of your life. So the North node, where you need to go, will be in your 4th house. So you need to go for more stability emotionally. You need to go for a more nurturing environment for yourself and others, rather than exploring and career, having 80 hours a week and just neglecting your home life. I'm not saying that you have to neglect your career, not at all, but it is a focus more on how you nurture yourself the second part of the year, and how you nurture your family. And then last but not least, Venus retrograde in the 8th house from July to September in Libra. Well, in Libra, sorry, in help me, in Leo. Yes. That is a tricky one, because the 8th house is a very hidden house. So, and Venus is what we love. So you could be doing things that you love behind the scenes, you know, hidden affairs and all of that. It's, I'm not judging here. I'm not saying that you're going to have an affair, but it's one of the examples that I need to say here. Because Venus is what we love, what we attract. And when it's in the 8th house, you want more intensity. You want more, yes, I can't put it in other words. You want more intensity. And on a positive level, it does mean to attract more money that you share with other people, or investments, or an inheritance. But again, there is something heavy and intense around this energy. It is in Leo though, so it can also mean increase of intimacy with a specific person. And that is of course a beautiful thing. And when that was a problem before, you could show more of your vulnerable self and therefore have more intimacy with someone. That's not just sex, but it's more than that. It's like body, mind and soul. Venus in the 8th house. It's also a softening, you could say, of a deep psychological understanding of self. And that goes very smoothly there with this energy as well. So all in all, fairly, except for the ones, the later born Capricorns, they will still have that Pluto transit. But all in all, quite a good year for the Capricorns. With a bit of everything here, a bit of an emphasis on, but surely on your self-expression. Keep that in mind. Have fun in 2023, no matter what. Stick to today and you will have a lot of good days. Having said that, all the best to you. See you next time.